welcome back to the EULCS. H2K are 1-0 up over Misfits Gaming going into Game 2. And don't forget, you can pick up your tickets to the Summer Finals in Paris. For more information on how you can watch the action live in person and find out if I ever will kiss Officio, head over to www.lolesports.com.
H2K what?
I don't know, I was reading the next line, you see.
Oh.
They picked red side, but
why will people who watch the stream not find out?
Oh, we don't know, because the last time, I mean, the origin of Trevor Kiss Me was at a final.
It was in Madrid.
Albeit it was a Spanish final.
Yeah.
However, that's where the magic happens, and Paris pretty famous for magic happening.
Maybe I'm gonna bring a ring. Who knows?
We'll find out. H2K chose red side to Officio. Shall we bring our little affair back onto stage?
Let's talk about pick and ban.
What do you think about red side? It's a little bit against the norm, where more teams are picking blue recently.
I mean, last game I think both teams were pretty happy with the draft, so I don't think any of the teams saw a reason to make massive changes by swapping up the sides. I think H2K giving away the Thresh into a Braum pick actually worked okay, despite Ignore having some decent plays. So far, everything is the same with the Blitzcrank ban once again.
Yeah.
Elise ban from Misfits Gaming was the last one into first pick Thresh. Seems like they want to swap it up this time around and get rid of the Thresh and have Elise open.
So, Elise first pick for Max Law?
Again, that will be the standard right here. I don't think H2K in the first rotation took anything you have to pick away instantly. They went Rek'Sai and then they went for Braum. Obviously, you could go Rek'Sai over the Elise. We've seen quite a few teams do that. I'm still on the Elise hype train, personally. H2K do ban away LeBlanc from Power Evil. Felt like it was annoying enough to deal with.
So Xayah and Rakan are up and available.
Ooh, yeah.
Is that something Nuclear and Shay lock in first rotation at the cost of something else?
So you could go Xayah, here's Misfits, and just trade Elise for Rek'Sai, and you still get a good jungler. But I don't think Xayah Rakan for every team in Europe is still considered that insane priority. And you see it from Misfits, they are taking the Elise despite other good junglers being available.
Well, Nuclear and Shay, they got themselves a 2v2 kill on Hans Summer and Ignar in the bottom lane with that Braum option.
I think you can go Rakan only if you just want. You don't have to go Xayah and Rakan specifically, and you can still pair Rakan with other AD carries. But in this game here, H2K is saying just log in the safe Braum pick. Clearly, it is a high priority pick for Che. Some supports really love Braum right now. Other supports don't really use him too much. It is just basically up to the different players.
Well, so far, Braum and Che are undefeated in Summer. They are 3-0. It is once again an Ashe for Nuclear, so the same bottom lane. It worked well enough. Nuclear ended up having the kills in that final team fight to win the game.
And we have to remember the playstyle for H2K is very focused around mid lane and top lane. It's not necessarily Jankers camping the bottom lane, so they're picking a very safe 2v2 lane that will have value at all stages in the game after level 6, which is kind of the key turning point for H2K. So we might get the Xayah Rakan, at least we have Rakan locked in for now, which often signals Xayah will show up, or Kalista. Those are kind of the two AD carries we see paired the most with Rakan.
And so exciting, both support players on their respective champions are undefeated. Officio.
One game for Ignar.
1-0. I am technically correct, the best kind of correct. And look at that, cheers for the 1-0.
Or for the Xayah, we don't know.
Not the Xayah.
We will never find out.
The lovers in game and the lovers on the caster desk. H2K, they can lock in their jungler now and leave those solo laners for phase 2, just like game 1.
Yeah, if they want the Rek'Sai once again, they gotta pick it now, otherwise it should get banned away by Misfits Gaming. Other choices go mid lane and then ban out 2 mid laners from Power Evil now that you already removed the LeBlanc, and you can try and really pinch his champion pool. And that is what they decide to do.
All right, so locking in the Corki. Pretty difficult to find a counter matchup into that.
So Cassiopeia is the one we should see banned by H2K, which got banned right there.
Kog'Maw?
I mean, you can for safety. It is Power of Evil after all. So it wouldn't be a terrible ban by any means, but I don't think it's like a super hard counter that means you're just doomed as a Corki. So.
Kog'Maw and Galio top, and Alfari silences the critics playing a tank and doing
he's not going to play Galio top. He's not. That's the, I mean, the other one might happen, but I'm pretty sure we're not going to see the Galio. So we did say Rek'Sai would get banned if H2K did not pick it.
Yep.
If you are Misfits Gaming, you can even ban Lee Sin if you want to just try and push Jankos here onto an even lower tier jungler.
I mean, would he just go Warwick?
Yeah, man, there's Kha'Zix still. So there is plenty of good picks for Jankos to be useful. A trashy, not trashy, Gragas jungle. Just associated that with trashy. Not based on appearance, but based on the fact he plays it all the time.
Definitely summer 2016 trashy, not yesterday.
So I mean, Gragas is also available as a jungle pick for H2K.
I'm having some fun with this one today, Deficio. The last ban from Misfits, they've got 5 seconds if we're not expecting a jungler, maybe top lane focus. Renekton's already taken away, and there goes the Galio, so Odo's not going to get that safe frontline option for his two ADCs.
And kind of tells us we might get the Alphari Rumble once more. Of course, H2K can take the Rumble on their own now that they've already removed the Galio from Misfits Gaming, but other picks, like we saw the Camille hover from Odam the last time around. I don't know if he wants to just early pick it. That would be a little bit strange, but they do go for that trashy in the jungle.
Yeah,
the
let's see what sort of barrels Jankos can hit this time round, leaving their top lane to counter pick for Odo, and this will allow Alphari to lock in Rumble, as you mentioned already.
And if Rumble comes in now, we might just see Odam to take the Gragas top lane. It's okay for him, and then you can still, actually last pick, if you have something crazy in mind for your jungle pick. So surprise, surprise, there is the Rumble. Now with Cassiopeia being removed, like Kassadin is another pick we can see against Corki. Lucian mid is also a fine matchup against Corki specifically. LeBlanc is banned, we have to remember that.
Syndra, no.
I mean, you can always go Syndra here.
Power of Evil's played so many champions this split already.
Seems like we might get the Lucian.
And it's going to be an AD carry. It's not the one I wanted, but I'll accept the Lucian. And AD carries in the mid lane. We've gone all the way back to Season 1, Deficio. Not quite, but yes.
Sure.
Odo. All right.
He really wants to play this Camille, clearly, seeing as they're hovering it randomly from Che. Let's see if he actually wants to lock it in, or just take the Gragas top lane and pick a jungler instead. That's
what do you prefer? And it's going to be the Camille.
I quite like it. I want to see the split push priority be in favor of Odamne. Last game it was LeBlanc from Power of Evil kind of controlling the one side lane. Now it will be Odamne on this Camille. Early laning phase can be a bit tricky against the Rumble, but once you get 1 or 2 items under your belt, you take over that side lane very, very, very easily. So Misfits Gaming this time packing quite a lot of tools to engage with. Like I always, like just by looking at Rakan, I'm like, that man alone brings multiple ways for you to start a fight. Obviously there are other ones, is you have Cocoon coming in from Elise, and then at Rumble ulti to kind of start the fight with a slow into then the engage from Rakan. And I think if you are Misfits Gaming in this game here, like the amount of damage you're running with, like you have burst from Elise, you have damage from your top laner, your mid laner, your AD carry, like 4 members on the side of Misfits can more or less destroy a squishy member in like 1 or 2 seconds from H2K.
It's very, very exciting. A lot of damage on both sides, and let's see who's going to put it down first. We saw the fan vote as we were loading up into picks and bans here, and H2K marginally ahead. It was around, what, 58% to 42%. Of course, they won game 1, so that's going to allow the cheaters on Twitter to influence it. Misfits Gaming, here the dynamic duo, the lovers in the bottom lane. Hansama and Ignat to bounce back against Nuclear and Che to even out this series. Hansama definitely wants to play in Paris, definitely wants to make it to those top 4. Let's see if he can start that path. Make it look even stronger with the win here today.
So let's see this game here. Maxlow on Elise this time around. They didn't ban it. They first picked it instead. If you are looking at early ganks, a Corki is not an easy target to go for due to his Valkyrie, but you can go bot lane with Rakan, combine the CC from Elise and Rakan, or you can try and go top lane early against Camille. But one thing Camille, even after nerfs, still managed to do well in lane is escape some of these ganks.
Yeah.
Her mobility is fantastic, even level 6 with the ulti, which is a small little chance that she can dodge things as well. So it is a little bit tricky for Maxlow. He doesn't have the greatest solo laners to set up a gank for him, but if he does manage to succeed with a gank, he has 2 champions in Lucian and Rumble that really can start taking over the mid game.
All right, what do you think of this bottom lane matchup? We can see some trading as Che and Ignat were facing off. I mean, Xayah Rakan into Ash Braum kind of feels like is some tools for H2K to deal with them.
I mean, basically what you want against Xayah is long-range AD carries. Caitlyn is the best, but Ashe obviously still with volley as well. Yeah. Can do quite well there. It's not exactly a counter matchup. Braum is there once again to try and turn it into a farm lane. But that's kind of the thing. If you play Xayah Rakan, you should almost always be able to try and force a play. And if you can't win 2v2, you can call down your well, you can still play it, Trevor, but you can call down your jungler. You can combine it with a teleport coming in from your top laner, and that's kind of what I want to see from Misfits. Because this Braum here with exhaust can make it difficult for Rakan and Xayah to kill the Ashe, but again, you have teammates.
Yeah, and so much more exciting when those top laners do decide to join. Rumble, Camille, both going to be jumping into the fray.
Exactly. I cannot think of a single player. I see Engage actually ends up being just trade
grand entrance onto Nuclear. Sorry, Hero's entrance. No,
but again,
sorry, grand entrance.
I cannot think of a single player, might be a former pro player right now, who does not like the 5-man parties in the bot lane. Like, have you ever heard anyone complain about that?
A little bit, is right now there's no party yet.
Ignar, you gotta hit those, man, otherwise don't go in.
All right, Nuclear's gonna turn the stun around. You mentioned the 5-man party in the bot lane. Maxlaw, his Elise, might be one of the guys joining that party. Really good performance last week on that champion. And definitely something that we were talking about because we said, can he play not Lee Sin? And Elise is yes.
Of course. I mean, Maxlaw has been doing well in the Warriors. I was about to talk about him maybe going for early tower dives. That is what you can do with Elise due to your repel. And Camille is very squishy early. She is taking a lot of poke damage. I actually think they can execute this one and secure the kill and also get out alive. But a good ward from Oda Amne kind of reading the situation. Because what we mentioned in Champ Select, Camille will struggle early on in this lane. Perma pushing from the Rumble.
Needs a couple of items.
He's gone back in!
Oda decided to go in. Respect flashes the cocoon. There's a minion wave coming up, so he's still under threat.
Yeah, but the reason he's going back in is because if he loses 2 or 3 waves in the early game, he's basically out of the lane. So he actually valued the experience over having a flash, but now he's actually looking for a trade. A
tactical sweep there from Odo. Put the fear into Alphari, and now they're both flashless.
It's also the fact that Jankos did show up, and if Jankos had charged up that body slam, he could have combined it with flash to actually get onto Alphari, and Alphari couldn't have flashed away instantly. So he respects the fact that Jankos shows up. But again, Oda Amne valued the experience over keeping his flash, and that's simply so he didn't fall too far behind his lane to do anything.
All right.
I like that move from Jankos as well. Kill the blast cone, making it harder for Maxlaw to get into that little brush.
Especially when you know Maxlaw has got a flashless target and the ability to tower dive nearly flawlessly. The threat is not over yet. The observers have highlighted H2K vision. Yeah, Maxwell's going to try sneak his way into this next bush, but the wave, no, takes it a step back instead.
Again, we did nerf Camille a lot. She got a small buff on 712. Mainly the important one here is her passive, a lower cooldown on the shield. Can help her in the early game, but she still will get pushed in by this Rumble over and over. And Jankos needs to tower dive her to actually kill her at this point. Sorry, Maxlaw needs to tower dive onto Oda Amne.
Are we expecting Hex Drinker first for Odo into something? Is it risky? Is it not something you look at?
So Hex Drinker as an item, a lot of players don't really like it too much. Let's talk about it after because they're actually going mid.
Okay, Febervin, can he get away from the entrance? Oh, but he's going to jump into Alphari. Literally everything is missing.
No, you're alone.
Done. He's got Ignite available, but there's a cocoon onto Jankos. First blood picked up by Power of Evil. He flashes forward. Exhaust goes down. The Light Slinger passive gets a double kill.
So with the push in the bottom lane, Misfits roam the support to mid. The top laner roams from the top side as well. So due to Misfits having push in multiple lanes in the early game, they can make this play here in the mid lane. Febiven was on his way out. Ignar ended up diving super deep without backup. But then Jankos got caught and died. Top lane now, Oda Amne is pushing.
Oh no, this might be, oh no! He's going to use that wall shot to get out. The cocoon needs to connect if anything further happens, and he does at max range, committing to the tower dive. Alphari tanks 1, 2, and 3 shots, and they make that look easy.
I did not expect the max range cocoon to land onto Oda Amne here, but he had to juke backwards to try and avoid it. But then have instantly been hit by Alphari, and maybe some harpoons slowing him down. Let's see the mid lane again. So Febi gets attacked by multiple members. At this point here, Ignar dives in on his own, and Alphari with no flash couldn't actually follow. But the fact that Jankos then walks in completely disrespects all the guys around and dies, and then Febby chases a bit for that 1 kill, it actually means Misfits ends up getting 2 kills. This could have been a situation where H2K could have gotten out without losing anyone.
Yeah.
But also full credit to Misfits for using pushing lanes to go for an aggressive play in mid and then executing it in the end.
And Power of Evil gets the blue buff as well, thanks to taking out Jankos. Going to be super beneficial for him. After that early trade between Odo and Alfari and the respective junglers, now all of a sudden Alfari's got 3 assists to his name, got some armor under his belt already, and that's just going to set him up really nicely going forward.
Yeah, really the only positive thing here for H2K is the fact that Orama has been getting experience, so he's even with Alfari, but he's still died now once. He's just hit level 6. On Camille, you can actually start combining a play with the Gragas for maybe a gank where you can take down Alfari. But really, that play in mid gave over a lot of gold to Misfits.
It did indeed. He's going to delay Odo's ability to scale up as well, ever so slightly. And Maxwell can look to just repeat gank in the next few minutes. Odo's now got the ultimatum. It's a little more challenging. And he's got his will have his flash available relatively soon.
And here's that Elise going top lane.
Flame Splitter going out there, puts down the Odo puts down the Hextech ultimatum. He's trying to run for his life. Flashes a few seconds away. Electro Harpoon tags, wall shot, and escapes for Odo.
All right, Ramna gets away there. Nice escape from him. Botlane Che is extremely low. As we talked about this Xayah Rakan combo trying to force plays. Che is basically just trying to save his AD carry and make sure he can farm. And that is about it for H2K's bottom lane. Yeah,
Hans Sama actually, Featherstorm is on cooldown. Ignar's Ignite as well, but they got the flash, the exhaust, and the heal. Maxwell's able to steal away the red buff. And Misfits maintain control of the game with a 2,000 gold lead. And whenever I want to talk about that Hexstringer you asked about some time ago, there's a potential setup where something could happen. It looks like Jankos is spotted, so they just have to back away. But the issue here, issue with Hexstringer is it delays your core build. And a lot of these top lane split pushers, they really rely on getting 1 to 2 fully completed strong items to be impactful in the game. Hexstringer just delays that. Right.
Even though it actually will look very good against Rumble Elise as a combo with the magic damage shield, I think for Odoamne, if he wants to go for it, it's simply because he's saying, okay, I'm under so much pressure that they're just going to keep killing me and this is bad. But ideally, you want to just save that gold and just go straight towards your Trinity Force and your Hydra.
Well, that looks to be the scenario. Misfits were the first to rotate their duo lane top. Nuclear and Che may arrive just in the nick of time as Hansam and Ignar chunk down that tower to about 50%.
It's just so hard for H2K to play the game right now because if you look at the lanes, from level 1 even, Misfits push in the top lane as we talked about with the Rumble. Lucian, good matchup against the Corki, that's why Power Vivo went for it as a counter pick. And then bot lane Xayah Rakan against the Braum trying to neutralize the lane. We see a fight again.
We do indeed. The entrance goes in, gets a knock-up. Maxwell and Jankos about to find one another. Blast cone over the wall. Alfari's taking some damage from Jankos and Odo. Equalizer splits the two under the tower, and Maxwell, with that red buff, is looking for a target. Odo gets slowed, and the fangs get sunk in with the venomous bite. Body slam comes out. Maxwell shut down, and that was a lot of burst. Power of Evil's got the culling available, but no target low enough to kill, and that was a great play by Odo.
Yeah, big play from Odoamne. They're saving the day for H2K. They're getting something in return. They could have gone horribly wrong there. Maybe getting more.
So cheeky. Why?
What do you recall there?
Recall there.
Down, sorry. Anyway, top lane, Che just died.
All right, 2v2. The quickness is thrown down. Ignar's running for his life.
Oh,
the storm comes out. Woo! Hans Sommer.
Big plays all around. Bot lane, Odoamne with the play, and then Alfari with such a risky recall. He goes down, but then instantly back to top lane. Che went down, and then Nuclear thought he could get that kill. So there's a little bit of an H2K logo on top here. We're a bit biased in the EULCS. But apart from that, people died. I tell you guys, rewind the VoDs here, go back, watch the big plays.
Oh, that was fantastic. Action across the map. H2K definitely in support of team play here. Every member of their team has conceded a kill to Misfits in variations.
At least they all die, you know?
And what I'm happy to see, Xayah and Rakan winning the 2v2 as you're meant to. with those two.
Yeah, I wonder if Nuclear thought the ulti from Hansama would be on cooldown. Because as soon as he flashes forward, Hansama can click the ulti, you can't target him. And then you can't actually burst him, or you can't get that last hit onto him. Also the flash from Hansama after to then line up when he pulls back the feathers. Ignore is baiting a little bit because Maxlaw is around.
Two-man knock-up, looking for the cocoon from Maxlaw. Needs to be max range again, and this one, stand behind me, gets Che to safety.
So all the pushing lanes for Misfits are currently ahead in CS. They've been getting early kills, and only that big play from Modamna has actually given H2K anything in return. Alfari might die now. Remember, guys, no flash. Already had one death that we had to flame him for a little bit. But top and tower, we're going to play with Misfits.
Deservedly.
Yeah, if you recall right there, you deserve it.
Yep. First tower blood picked up by Misfits. And their duo lane up top. Body slam connects, equalizes, putting some damage down. Alfari gets the shield, turns it round. Is this a double? He's overheating. Needs one more hit. Flame Spitter roasting Odo. He's running for his life and the flash won't chase.
Oh, Che was around as well, but couldn't really join. Uncoordinated attempt here from H2K. They didn't actually time their stun from Odamna with the engage from Jankos because Odamna was not in range. And then when Jankos went in and could have knocked back Alfari into that stun, they could have kept him under control. They didn't do. Che though, round two.
All right, Che wants to come in. Another tower dive potential. The exhaust will buy time. Odo's not in. Che takes a lot of damage. 1, 2, 3 shots and not enough to go down. Odo Omne gets the kill.
This time Odamna was in range to actually land the stun. Maxlaw with the Rift held. A lot of stuff happening in this game here. 12 minutes in, 9 kills, arrow flying in as well.
It has to hit someone. It does indeed. Power of Evil's the target, but there's no one around to follow up. Rift Herald gets summoned into the middle lane, and she'll get the boop to knock down the third turret of the game. The, what's that, 5,000 gold lead at 13 minutes, Deficio. That means it's a lot.
That's a lot. What is the average goal lead at 13 minutes?
Paging stats team on duty. What is the average gold lead for teams at 13 minutes when a team is in the lead? This is a horrible request, and Deficio asked it.
To be fair, you requested it. I was asking the viewers.
I did. I am hearing from the stats team. That will take a while. We will get back to you with an update later.
Should we settle for 15 minutes?
No, because you said 13.
Oh, yeah, fine. We get to 13.
We've got very smart stats team.
All right, we'll get to 13
we'll see what they can do. So as it goes.
After, I want to know how many wards on average will Ignore kill between 13 minutes and 17 minutes in games where Misfits are on blue side and he's playing Rakan.
Now you're taking the piss. Okay, now we've crossed the line.
Why? It's just a request.
We've crossed the line and we'll have to investigate that for next week's show. Maxlaw will get chunked out ever so slightly.
Oh, the Grump.
As the Grump decided not to attack Che.
So, bot lane, I feel like every single time we look at the top laners, they're about to get killed under their own tower. Odamna's been under a lot of pressure, then he turned it around against Alfari. Jankos kind of went in there, messed it all up for Odamna, sadly.
Yep.
With some uncoordinated plays. Now, Misfits will just take down his bot lane tower and get even more ahead in terms of gold. H2K will trade though, so super open map right now. Everyone on Misfits have been farming well, they've been getting kills, they're all like extremely strong individually. H2K will have to completely outplay them to win this game.
Well, super open map if you're a Misfits fan or player. 4 towers to 1. Look at the vision there from H2K. Yes, they've spotted Alfari running up, and H2K, they got there first, but they need to get more.
I just want to add as well, H2K is the team that normally gives away the least towers in the early game in the EULCS. In this game here, they've been giving away a ton of towers, simply due to all the lanes being pushed in and some of the plays being set up by Misfits. Let's see what else happens right now. Odamna, as we talked about, skip the Hexdringer. You need to just rush to your 2 items, the Hydra and the Trinity Force, and then you can start being a super strong split pusher. Dramatic ending.
Dramatic ending.
To that point.
Sets me up for 2 dramatic points. First one is already a dragon respawning, which means it was taken 20 minutes quicker than the game 1.
And it was an
first
Infernal
dragon.
Drake.
It was. You see the value there, right? Second thing, Misfits had the largest gold difference at 15 minutes this game. All gold differences for the split.
What about 13 minutes?
Their previous record was 2.9k. This time was closer to 5, so significantly larger. Our stats team are working on the 13 minutes, and they wish you to know they're not happy with the request. As Ignat goes down the quickness onto Che. He's going to be able to put the wall up and dash to Jankos. Jankos is going to back away, and it's just Misfits. They've got the run of the map. They've got a huge gold lead. They've got item advantages.
They have a Rakan who can always engage fights. Our Che gets interrupted by what I consider one of the most useless spells in the game. Rakan Q. Only good for interrupting recalls.
That's it.
For now.
Okay, so you've talked about H2K. They need a massive outplay. They need to do something spectacular with Jankos or Odo or Nuclear. How do Misfits use this lead? It's so early on. Let's take a look. Fairby's forced to use his package to escape.
Well, so you can keep pushing in 3 lanes at the same time, which means you should actually have H2K push so far back on the map that H2K cannot farm their own jungle. So at this point, what you do is you push in these lanes, you take away jungle camps, you get a few hits on these turrets, and you just kind of deny them resources to get yourself further and further ahead. Because you will need the Baron to probably close out the game. It's not alive yet, so all you have to do is just maximize your farm and minimize their farm, which is exactly what Misfits have been doing. Taking away these camps, you can see Jankos. He's looking for something in his own jungle. It's not there.
Yeah, been cleared away, and that means Alfari's got himself a +15 advantage. Around 10 for BOE, around 30 for Hans Sommer. And Misfits continue to push ahead. It's so weird.
Grump is alive. He wants it. Jankos, he's going for that Grump. Finally, he can get something.
Huge gold lead so early on.
Oh, he wants it so badly.
You run out of the objectives.
Oh, gets denied.
Available. Knockup is the caught out, the culling available to Power of Evil. And Jankos is already dead for a Grump. That was the target. PoE's not done. The culling through the exhaust. Man, that was amazing!
And it was all for a Grump!
Febifin's running for his life as he joins the fight. Maxlaw repels up and down, and the Grump lives!
No, Maxlaw! It just gave you 2 kills! He's so greedy.
Man, this is exciting.
But see, this is again why you always want to push these lanes and then you want to take away the jungle, because then if someone, being it maybe Jankos in this story, sneaks in to try and get something in that jungle, that's not his cookies. Why is the hand in that cookie jar? Smack, he gets one on the face and he's out of there.
Well, get caught in the cookie jar, and that means Misfits take their first dragon of the game. Here's a replay of the Grump Greed.
It's the Grump Greed or Bait. Grump clearly on Misfits' side, and as you can see, guys, it's very easy for Misfits with all these lanes pushed up to just engage on H2K. Nice flash from Power of Evil as well
so
into the collar. That was a nice played.
I got so excited by the play, I actually ran out of words. I ended up just saying that was like amazing. It's like the least unique, least exciting way of explaining a play. Oh, by the way, I got an update for you. The average gold lead for a team in the lead at 13 minutes is 1.4 thousand gold.
And this one, 5,000?
This was more than 2.5 times the amount.
Oh, they're fighting, Trevor. Say words.
Hextech Ultimatum comes down. Ignite gets a knock-up onto Jankos. Jankos needs the barrel if he wants to disengage. Pins Maxlaw against the wall, and Maxlaw doesn't care. He gets another kill onto Odo. H2K are falling further behind. Body slam onto Ignite. Ignite's just going to dash over the wall. He's not going to get run down by anyone else. The Brambleback is enlisted. Misfits have hired H2K's jungle to kill H2K. Power of Evil's going to dash forward and eats a big one for his troubles.
Oh, once again, H2K not allowed to get anything. Jankos, you got to be careful, man.
Maxlaw, that's not the angle you wanted. Ashara is available for Nuclear, so a squishy target oversteps. There's someone available. Also, Alfari's in the bottom lane with no TP.
Okay, but he's stealing away camps, so it's fine. Jankos might try and get a wolf camp for himself. It is alive at the moment, and only Alfari down there to try and actually kill it. So he's on his way. Will he get a camp? Bam. He gets it. 1 camp for Jankos.
That's it. This time it didn't cost him his life.
I guess that's a good thing. Oh, level 11 as well. Look at the bonus.
All right, Deficio.
There's no blue buff!
Deficio, 15 buffs have spawned this game, blue buffs and red buffs. How many of them have Misfits secured? You can play along too if you're watching at home or in the audience. 15 in total, how many have Misfits secured?
I'm saying 12.
You don't have enough fingers to show me on 2 hands. 11 buffs have gone to Misfits, and only 4 have gone to H2K. Come on, that's impressive. Give me something.
I'm nodding at you.
Thank you. Well, they don't know that.
No, so doesn't matter. We're only casting for us, not for them.
That is how much control Misfits have had over this game.
Yes, because they have 3 pushing lanes. They can just keep pushing and take the enemy jungle. They don't even care about their own jungle anymore. You can just sit there and do nothing. They just want the enemies. And now Baron is alive. That's a really easy objective soon for them to go for. And then if you're H2K, you have to take that Hail Mary fight where it's like, we're probably going to lose this fight.
Let's find out. The Cocoon falls short. Maxlow gets chunked down. And I'm looking at the vision. A couple of wards being placed forward. The blue trinket, by the way, on the minimap is in between Rakan and Gragas.
It's right there at the Raptor camp. Look at the minimap, how it's turned upside down.
Yep, that's how you know.
Not the same on the red side. The blue trinket will look the same. I think there might
riot, please.
There might be one down in the bot lane tri-brush near where Camille is. Could actually be a blue trinket.
Have to find out. Thank you, observers.
No, it's not. No, never mind.
Official light. Okay, it's fine.
But that's a problem, you know, because it looks the same on red side but not on blue. It's actually unfair.
It is. Advantage blue side in terms of minimap icons. All right, Hail Mary play is what H2K is looking for. Whether that's a catch, whether that's a Baron, whether that's Misfits, you know, not pushing their lead. But now we need to judge how Misfits play with this lead in the late game.
Exactly, and remember, again, when you run so many squishy members against things like, you know, a Gragas engage into still pretty decent damage from a 2-item Corki, if Misfits are being sloppy, if they just start up a Baron, take some damage from it, don't actually have any map pressure, Yankers might find a good engage that can net some kills to H2K, which then buys them more time to get further into the game and try and catch up. So while it is a massive advantage that you should never be able to lose the game with, you can still mess it up pretty badly.
And also, specifically because it's the Baron.
So they're on it now, but this little ward outside, I always see it, I always talk about it. You hide it around the corner so the control ward doesn't actually deactivate it, and therefore you know they're on Baron. You should always sweep outside.
Always sweep outside, always sweep inside. Just sweep everywhere. Keep your home clean, especially when you own the Rift. Misfits peel away from the Baron pit.
And now they couldn't get Baron, so they bought a little bit of time for H2K. They're trying to just get like at least 2 fully items completed on all the carries.
Got themselves the Trinity Forces on both Odo1 and
they swept it. There you go, Power Evil. Thank you.
There we go. A little bit late, potentially.
Oh, he's got Power
Evil's going to dash away. Body Slam connects. Oh, look at the flash into the barrel. There's no tower to fall back to, though. Exhaust for Exhaust in the culling. Power Evil puts a lot of damage down. Almost wins in the 1v2. Maxlaw turns it around. Teleport comes out for Alfari. He's caught inside the baby cage. Getting burned and roasted and cut down by Odo1. The Glacial Fisher prevents Maxlaw going in, but the entrance knocks up 2. Alfari's not done. Now he is. Odo1 kills him. Hunt Summers caught out up with the Exhaust. Puts the damage and the feathers out. Ash Arrow into the face. Prevents
he's gonna kill him.
Summer goes down. Everybody's dying. Ignore gets tagged. H2K are acing Misfits.
Trevor, we just talked about it. You have so many squishy champions on the side of Misfits. If you play sloppy, if you make a mistake, Yankers can find and engage. H2K can actually win a fight. It's after they didn't kill the ward in the first place. They got to stop Baron. Power Evil then steps in to place a ward without knowing where Yankers and Fabian is. He gets jumped, and yes, it's an even fight. It looks like an even fight almost because Power Evil is so far ahead. But now, Misfits can't actually win the next fight because Odo1 is strong on this Camille. He's been able to catch up in farm. He's been getting experience. He gets now 4 kills in this fight as well. Let's see what happens actually for the remaining. Nice stun from Odo1 into, of course, the kill onto both Maxlaw and Alfari. And now, a little bit late, Misfits dual lane joins, but they are 3v2, and Odo1 goes in with another one.
Such great play. H2K get themselves the quadra. We saw in the picture-in-picture there that Infernal Drake picked up, and Alfari Barney not a happy man.
Ring the bell. Shame, shame, shame. If you're going to lose this game, Misfits.
Oh, ding, ding, ding. Shame. It has rung once. You need 3 shame rings in order to lose this lead.
Still 6k gold ahead. They are around the Baron once more. They don't really have too much control in H2K's jungle. They can still start the Baron to force H2K to come near to fight them. And you still have this Rumble ulti that can be very impactful. 2 items though on Odo1. That is the spike he's looking for.
No teleport, Officio. He's 1.5 miles away. Baron's down to 4,000. Misfits don't want to go for that risky 50-50. Knock up onto Yankos. Che puts out the Unbreakable, and Yankos splits up the fight. There's an equalizer coming down as Odo's re-engaged. So Couple ultimates traded, but no benefit gained by Misfits, and H2K take their second tower.
Oh, so I don't think Misfits actually knew exactly where Oramne was on the map, seeing as they stopped the Baron so quickly. As soon as 4 guys showed up from H2K, Ignore did not find a good engage to actually start the fight. February now as well on Corki. We always talk about the 4-item spike on Corki now. It used to be some Trinity Force power spike in the past, but now, again, it's rapid fire cannon, it's Infinity Edge, it's static shift. What he's done this game is said, I can't get quickly enough to Trinity Force and Infinity Edge because they're so expensive, so he actually swapped in a static shift in between to get some more power here in the mid game, try and get back. Let's see, Baron started again. Misfits. Ooh. Not really having control in the mid lane. That's always step number 1, is you need mid lane control before you go in towards the Baron. And you can see how it's Oramne just sitting there pushing out the wave, and it stops Misfits because it means H2K can engage from multiple angles onto them. And now Misfits have to go back, just kill the wave once again. It's a little bit of a walk of shame.
Yeah. And for the first time in about 14 minutes, H2K have pushed out past their own side of the jungle. Albeit they had nothing in there. Great Ash Arrow down onto Hansama. That's going to take him out from long range. Yeah, the Storm was available, but he was caught out, and that's 2 more kills to Oramne. Febiven somehow was caught out. Didn't quite see how. Ignar trying to run back. The supporters coming down. Equalizers available for Alfari, and H2K continue to fight. The quickness is used to charm up H2K, but Ignar's taken down.
Oh,
Trevor, the greatest.
It's shame number 2 now.
Ding, ding, ding.
We're almost getting there, but look at that. H2K, is that a free Baron right in front of you?
Completely free with an actual tank on the front line.
And let's highlight again that in 13 minutes, the average goal lead the team will have when they are ahead is 1,500 in the EULCS. We had Misfits sitting with 5,000.
That was such a great callback to Fisher.
And H2K just picked up Baron. So Febiven with his package engages on the Power Vivo. Power Vivo is very impressed with it, and then he ends up going down. Che is in there for the fight. Gotta remember now, Xayah is already dead at this point. Didn't use her ulti on the arrow. Trevor, can you stop laughing next to me? I'm trying to talk about the replay.
And Alfari just get run down. It was eventually a 4 versus 2. And this allows H2K to pick up the Baron. The shame bell has rung twice.
Is it 3 almost at this point? Keep it at 2 for now. Oramne's getting caught.
Well, it is indeed. Flashes over the wall so the cocoon doesn't connect. And Misfits, they tried to play the Death Bush game, but it ends up costing them a turret in the mid lane. It might cost them more. H2K, they've not backed away yet, and those recalls are only just completed.
Oh man, H2K getting that mid lane inhib. Oh, let's see that. Gets away from him.
Survives. Jankos with a defensive ultimate. This is a 5-on-4, remember. Oramne shoving in that bottom lane, and H2K are in the lead.
It feels like almost a game ago that H2K was actually behind, but it's only about, what, 10 minutes? Not even that, because this is the first time they're in the lead. So like 1 minute.
Well, Equalizer was used already. Alfari threw it down to hold off the first onslaught into the inhibitor. This could be the biggest comeback of the summer split at 10,000 gold. I'll have that exact number confirmed shortly. As it stands, H2K, Baron, for another 2 minutes. They're not done. They're looking at more towers.
Well, he's getting some damage on it for now. Misfits, no Rumble ulti was used by Alfari to kill the minions before. And at this point, as a team, your communication might start breaking down because a lot of players are suddenly feeling very frustrated with the fact that they have lost this massive advantage. We also have to then turn around and say H2K actually found the overextending members. They engaged well, they won the fights after, some fantastic individual plays from Oramne on this Camille, and it's a lot of credit to them for getting back in this game. It looked done.
I was getting excited about a game 3. I was looking forward to another matchup, but Misfits get punished super hard.
It's painful to look at.
Look at that gold difference. That must be, what, 9, maybe just shy of 10,000 gold at its peak?
Getting up there at least. At this point, the only positive thing for Misfits is you have a Cloud Drake. And that does mean a lot.
Not at all. Just to confirm, if H2K win this, it will be the biggest comeback from a gold lead at 20 at that scale. And they've got themselves 2.5K in the lead. It's an Infernal Drake.
Should we get them on the biggest goal lead at 13 minutes with the biggest comeback after? Or do we
can
keep
do
it
that.
20?
No, we'll do that at the end. We'll do that at the end.
Okay.
When they close it out with their triple Infernal Drakes.
Ooh, is that a GA on Odo Amne now? He was already hard to kill before. Camille obviously have lost some value in terms of a team fighting, but one of the things you can do is use your ulti very early in a fight, because obviously it does give you quite some advantages and buffs when you do actually use it to try and take down that one guy right in front of you. Extra damage as well.
And then? You said you can use it early in your
Well, then you already killed a guy, and then it's a 4v5, and you're kind of going to win the game, right? That's what I've learned this game, is if Odan is in a team fight, H2K wins the game.
Well, that seems to be the case. 39 games in a row where Power of Evil has given up at least one death. So, in fact, this game, H2K now going to knock over another inhibitor in the bottom lane.
This is the kind of game where, again, now we start getting hope for H2K. We start believing again after being let down last week. We're like, that was a pretty sick comeback. You obviously didn't have to kind of be the other guy saying, why did it fall so far behind in the first place? You know, there were maybe some risky drafts and plays kind of went the wrong way for them. But the comeback in itself was very impressive from H2K.
Well, they're still going to close this one out. Defensive flash from Shay. Super minions pouring through 2 lanes as Odo is going to use that hook shot to get over the wall into Misfits' base. Odo Wamne is bringing the conga line of Baron, super minions rather, into the Nexus turrets, and Misfits peel away. So inner turret top will now fall. That's tower number 8. And only the inhibitor in the top lane stands between the Nexus and the rest of H2K.
And let's see here. Ignar is the man we're looking at for the engage. Flash is ready, ulti is ready. Ulti first, into flash, so you can cancel your own animation. You're in the face of the enemy, and then you can use your W as well to close the gap or get extra CC. It is a very good tool to always get to the back line. The problem is, can anyone follow? It's just a Rumble ulti at this point. But there's a locket on the side of Che to try and mitigate some of that damage. There it is!
There's the engage. That catches a knockup, but the Unbreakable's blocking so much damage. Featherstorm comes out. Blade Caller brings them back. He's lost his GA. Hextech Ultimatum still available, but Max Law's low, and so is the rest of Misfits. Nuclear has flashed forward. The knockup is simply too late. It's 2 down for the Misfits. They've turned it around onto Feathervin, though. Max Law survived. How on earth did he get out? H2K, they lost the fight.
They actually lost the fight right there under the tower as well. We just talked about the Ignar engage. He used everything. He got onto the backline of H2K. Ulti came down from Alfari, and I think Odo Amne was caught under that tower. Ended up taking a lot of extra damage. But that was the big engage from Misfits. The flash will now be on cooldown. Look at it once again. You see him fly in onto Ansama, then he instantly uses ult into W, gets onto the backline of H2K. And with Odo Amne caught on the tower, they can't really help him because the tower is still alive. And Nuclear, while he's doing a lot of damage and actually flashing aggressively forward, we like to see that. Simply lacks like what? Tiny bit of AD to also kill Alfari at the very end. But I think just the fight on the tower after the engage from Ignar became a little bit too much for H2K to handle.
So the 3rd ding of the shame bell has yet to ring for Misfits.
Fine, it remains for now. The Nexus dying might have to be the 3rd one.
Well, we'll see. They won that team fight. Having a touch more hope. I can hear the H2K squad on stage, animated, yelling as they're getting set up. Okay, 20 seconds until Baron. Odo has teleport to join the fight. And he's got an exposed inhibitor in the middle lane.
Alfari with TP and home guards sitting in that base right now. Odo Amne is moving in behind Power Evil.
All right, Power Evil's caught out. No flash, remember. The ultimatum comes down. PoE's down. Odo Amne is legendary. 10 kills to his name of his team's 14. The inhibitor falls in a 5-on-4. They're going to use these super minis in the bottom lane to try take down the Nexus turrets.
And no Lucian for another 40 seconds. Baron is alive, so if H2K wants to play it safe, they can just go back, kill the Baron with the 3 Infernal Drakes as well. Wait for 2 lanes of super minis to push down, buff up those lanes, and then suddenly a Misfit should not be allowed to leave the base at all, because an Elder Drake also spawning in 1 minute and 40 seconds with your triple Infernal Drakes. That is value in the late game, Trevor.
Absolutely the case. Nobody from Misfits around to challenge.
But I'm going to be a little bit careful, because the one play they can make is actually go kill him, and they're trying. But he has Baron, recall, and this Trinket just outside.
Yeah, definitely pointing the wrong direction. Odo Amne is going to finish the recall, get to safety, pick himself up yet another BF sword. As to that damage,
And obviously, again, a lot of the players on H2K have been part of this comeback, but man, like, you look at Odo Amne in some way 1v9ing this game from being so far down. It feels like everything he's been doing has just netted in multiple kills for the Nate. He's actually now going 1v5.
All right, GA is not available to him. I think it's on cooldown, shut down. That's your
I'm
fault.
telling you,
your
that
fault.
caster curse, it's legit.
You threw that on him. You're praising Odo, his calls, his plays, and then he gives up. The killing spree. That one is Deficio's fault.
I'll take the full blame for that one.
All right, the third bell yet to ring. And all this gives is a little more time to Misfits because they are now the team that's down 5,000 gold, down Baron buff, down their base. But, mistakes from H2K can bring Misfits back into this game.
So Odo Amne, 25 seconds, TP up. Baron in favor of H2K, Elder Drake. 10 seconds. It might be the last defense from Misfits. If they lose that with the triple Infernos, it should be impossible to defend, even with the 2 Nexus turrets.
It absolutely should. And that's what Misfits will be hoping for.
Febby with the package again.
H2K have already proven that miracles can happen. H2K punishing Misfits. Maxlaw and Ignore waiting in the side lane. They're looking to engage. PoE's going to dash forward and Flash is still on cooldown. Several members on both sides as Febby's going to keep shooting out those rockets. Look at Odo back on the map. GA still on cooldown, by the way. So needs to be a little careful as this engage potentially breaks out, Deficio.
Again, you can see how H2K, they're not risking the same thing. Another meme in the past was that H2K late game fighting. And not only the Barons, but also the team fight, where suddenly they could lose it all again. Febby,
whoa, look at that damage.
Power of Evil, but he wants that tower so badly.
The tower's the focus. Tower's going to fall. Kalin comes up from Power of Evil, gets Febiven down to half HP. Odo's joining in on the flanks, and the super minions are starting to make their way into the base. This is the final fight. If Misfits want to turn this around, they need to become Spartans. Ignar's going to flash forward with the quickness as a charmer to Nuclear. The equalizer's pretty good, but Nuclear's got so much hit points. So much is blocked by Che. Max Laurie's down. Yankos survives. It's a double kill for Odo. H2K, Ace, Misfits. They've got Baron empowered minions onto the Nexus turrets. The turrets are falling, and H2K bounce back from the largest goal deficit at 20 minutes, all split long.
And Trevor, Misfits get the third one right there. In the end, they had everything. They were pushing everywhere. They were taking every camp. Yankos and 2 other members from HK died because he tried to kill a Grump. That happened this game. This game, that happened.
Ding, ding, ding. Shame, shame, shame. An 8,000 gold lead at 20 minutes. A 4,600 gold lead at 13 minutes, Deficio.
And Odo Amne in this game, with the help, of course, of his teammates to set up some of those early fights, was the man who picked up all the kills, and he used them extremely well. Multiple times was he the guy getting in, killing one guy early in the fight, always being down in a split pushing position, applying even more pressure for H2K once they got ahead. Yankos found some openings on the Gragas. It's crazy, we're actually looking at the scores right now on H2K, like Febiven 3-4-7. That doesn't sound like a guy who just won a game.
Nope.
The AD carry 2-2-8. Okay, that seems fair enough. Your jungler's 2-5-8. Like again, just look at the KDS.
It's such an entertaining game.
Then obviously Odo is on 12 kills. So.
Look, the swings, the back and forth, it was all a bit crazy. And when you look at actually both games, there is so much to analyze and so many things to discuss, right?
Yeah.
But look at H2K on screen right now. Nuclear and Shay, big smiles on the other side of the stage. Misfits with Hussein. Their 4-series win streak is broken. Cross-group play against H2K, and maybe they were marginally the favorites today, ever so slightly. Maybe if you base it purely off last week's performance,
sure.
I don't even know.
I mean, it's so hard to say with a lot of their top teams in Europe because they are very close in level.
H2K, 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 H2K.
H2 what? H2K indeed.
Thanks, Trevor, for adding that
Congratulations for that one. Probably, definitely a happy man with the win. Definitely going to have some discussions with how they happen.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing.
It's that weird feeling of, Yeah, we were down like 5K gold at 13 minutes, but we won the game.
Yeah, they did indeed. I give you guys an update. Jankos, of course, just finished celebrating with his team. He will be joining the analyst desk in a few moments' time. So we... oh, great. I'm hearing that Play the Series is ready. We're going to announce it. It's Odawamne.
Surprise.
Surprise, surprise. Galio in game number 1.
That's why he got it. The Galio performance was spot on.
Odo, I know you can hear me. Congratulations, you're player of the series.
Nice Galio.
There we go. The Camille at the end of that. 14-3-10. 73% kill participation. So his team got 19 kills, and he was involved in 14 of them.
Yeah, and he picked up 12 of them as well.
Ridiculous.
For himself in the end with the quarter kill up top lane. It kind of started a comeback for H2K. Overall, though, I mean, very fun game to watch in so many ways.
Yes.
But,
Yes.
But it's such a strange feeling to have after we basically gave it to Misfits. We said, you know, with this advantage, they've already won this game. Game 3 is happening.
Mentally, I was preparing game 3. I was like, what are the storylines? When do I start asking about it? And then it just turns around. Look, we've talked a lot about H2K. Let's turn our attention to Misfits. Unreal that one mistake or two mistakes in that top lane allowed H2K to get right back into it, right? That's phenomenal. But how do those mistakes happen? Those are the things that Misfits have to go back to the drawing board and figure out.
I mean, and that's kind of the weird thing to say now, but when you have a loss like this, like going back and looking at the VoD as a team, like the VoD review section with your coach as well, some of it might suck a little bit because you end up losing the game, but at the same time, like, you should be able to very clearly kind of look at,
I ask,
where did we mess up? Challenging
question. Game 1, Power of Evil goes toe-to-toe with Odawamne in that bottom lane at like 48 minutes, and right? He loses the trade.
Patient.
Baron goes to H2K. Game 2, Power of Evil's fed ahead, and he was the initial Misfits member that was caught in that 2v1 in the top lane. Is it too early without watching closer, looking at everything else that maybe
it's already too early because in the second game, a lot of it comes down from the fact that they actually had absolutely no deep vision in the H2K jungle in the first place. After they've had it before, then lost it when Baron spawned, they started skipping some steps, and then suddenly him going in, placing that one ward, like in 9 out of 10 situations, he will not die from that.
Right.
It's like he snuck in, placed it over the wall, and instantly dashed away. Like he couldn't have played it almost safer. But obviously, because he had absolutely no vision in the first place,
he was punished for it.
You could get punished, and that's exactly what he did. So it was also a really good read from Fiven and Jankos, going like, hey, let's rush top lane. This guy, he doesn't see us. Maybe he's gonna push or something, and we can then jump him. Because we talked about the one way, you know, squishy members, Jankos finally engaged. It could happen.
And it did happen.
It did happen.
And that means we got the ding, ding, ding shame bell for Misfits because H2K took the series with that great comeback after the 13-minute goal deficit.
8,000 gold you guys were behind and you still turned that game around. And I'm here to ask the man himself, Jankos. Well, the man himself would be Odawamne because he definitely won you guys that game. But honestly, Jankos, how did you guys turn it around?
I honestly don't know. I think Misfits just played not that well from being, you know, when they were ahead, and then we kind of played our stall game well. And since both drafts we had better scaling, we just like holding on to that. And then even though we were losing, we would still look for those picks, you know. And you know, one time we dive bot and it doesn't work and we die again. And then we tried to 2v2 top and we die again. And for like 20 minutes we fail everything. But we have one good play where me and Fabi catch Power of Evil. And then, you know, they lose the whole team fight because of it. And then they started panicking super hard in the second game. Like you could feel they are shaking their chair, you know. We are like, look guys, they're panicking. And you could feel them like... you know, like they didn't know what to do. They would like start Nashor. I think Maxwell is not really confident in his smite, so they wouldn't ever go for the 50-50 and stuff like this. So I think we played well overall, but I think against team like G2 or against team like Fnatic or against team like UL, we'll probably lose with that gold deficit.
That gold, yeah, I mean, you should.
There's a lot to digest there. We're going to go piece by piece through the game. Unfortunately, before we get to the comeback, we do kind of want to look a little bit at the early game. So sorry, Jankos, you have to bear with us for a few minutes while we look at our first replay. This was the first 2 kills that go over to Power of Evil. Similar to game 1, Yamato, looking at this one, like, is this affordable to be able to give over such a strong lead to Illusion this early on?
Well, in this case, like Fabiven is playing a matchup that is very, very hard in the early game. Also, they have Elise, so it is expected that H2K is going to be behind in the early game, but it's important to be able to cut your losses. You're supposed to give out that one wave and just recall and accept the loss, but give out 2 kills there, man. What happened?
I mean, I was trying to help him, but then, you know, I see Spider flashing on me with like the white thing, and then I just can't do anything. But I was trolling very hard, so it's my bad as well.
It is very, very rough. But I agree wholeheartedly. You guys outscaled them very, very heavily, but with their composition, you're supposed to lose early, but I think something you guys could have looked for was maybe potentially a swap from bottom, because you were, in fact, getting a push into bottom.
I think we could have swapped, but the thing is, if we swap and they have Rumble, if they can like kind of, you know, clear our wave with the ultimate, it's tough. If Odo can all-in at the same time as we swap, and then maybe Rumble will press his R for no reason, maybe we can actually get something off. But since there was Infernal up, we didn't want to give it up. And, you know, when they swapped, we actually got the Infernal, and we stick to this game with, like, guys, we have Infernal, next is Windrake, it's nice, you know, just 12 minutes, you can farm.
It's very understandable. I think it's just a game of cutting your losses all across the board.
And wanting to get Gromp.
Oh dear.
Yeah, let's take a look.
I think oh dear is how you sum it up. Jankos, we want to ask you, this is another fight. I'm sorry, we're not getting to the turning point yet. This is the fight over Gromp.
You guys go back for 1 second.
Gromp this hard?
No, I mean, I think I just underestimate Ignar a little bit. I thought maybe he wouldn't go in because it's only Poe here, but since they have such a high CC chain, I cannot really be overstaying here, and it's totally my bad that we all die here, so I take the blame on myself. I do think, though, that we didn't have to die. We have, like Yamato said, cut our losses, back out, use Bramble faster. This is, the catch we were looking for as well. It failed, you know. A lot of those catches failed, but
so the call was, we want to fight, we want to fight, we want to fight.
No, the call is, we try to catch them, otherwise the game is lost. But, but
now,
what happened is that,
here it comes.
no, I mean, we never said the game is lost, but we always say we outscale guys, but we can still catch it, they face check, and we tried, and it didn't work out. But you see, it's important to play to win and not play to not lose. Because if you play not to lose, you will never win.
Do you feel that versus Unicorns of Love and Fnatic, you played not to lose?
Hey, come on.
No, as an honest question, did you have a different mindset in those games?
I believe against UL, the games were very even, and we were playing to win. Against Fnatic, though, I think we played really passively for some reason. We always had pressure from our picks, but we never managed to get a lead, never dive bot lane, never go deep in enemy jungle. So I think every one of us played worse in Fnatic series, and I think every one of us could have done way, way more, especially me and Fabi having so much pressure in mid and jungle. But I believe if we can break the mental block, I would call it, against this team, we can do good against them. And I'm also looking forward to face G2 after Rift Rivals.
Definitely so. We do have to wrap up this series, and I think when you talk about a mental shift in this game, you prove that you can turn around a huge gold deficit, and you finally get the pick that you were asking for and hunting for the entire game. So
look at this guy. He doesn't flash Insta. He doesn't flash Insta, so he just gets caught. Look at him. He's trying to help, but like there's nothing he doesn't do.
But it looks like good, and then you're like, oh no, they're gonna all die.
No, I mean, I think if their duo bot lane would move a bit faster from mid, we could actually get like
destroyed.
Killed, destroyed. But since, you know, Odo mashed the TP and our duo bot lane is kind of at the same time, and also they can't really focus Odwamne, and Xayah just came to the fight. So for this whole time, they didn't have damage, because after Lucian dies, there is no threat. Rumble ult was like missed kinda, and then Elise did her whole combo. So after this, Odwamne and Ash can clean up. We played it slow, we played it collective, you know, we wait for the CC chain. Xayah flashes in, he's being cocky, we chain CC, we kill, Odo gets the kills, then he screams, I will be really fed this game, then we are all happy, and then we say, holy moly, Infernal is up, let's go, and then we are like, okay, this game is won, and they will panic.
For sure, the game was won after that quarter kill, because no one can really stop Camille on side, 2 Infernal, but in this fight, I think if the only way Hansama could die there was if he was CC chained, but he went for the aggressive ultimate, aggressive flash. In theory, he shouldn't be CC'd at all if he just saves his abilities and walk forward with the Ignite W aggressively.
Exactly.
Exactly, and this is nice because you guys are actually ex-teammates here together on the desk. Yamato actually really wanted to speak to you and is enjoying.
I've missed you, man.
How is it?
You never accept my invitations to lunch.
Oh, I mean, I met someone.
It's probably. Can you remind the viewers when you guys were together? 2015?
2015. Rocket. The last time we played was that best of 5 against Origin.
Oh, it was close.
That final game was not close.
Oh, yeah. But they went to semi-finals. After we 2-3, we lost.
So we were like the 6th best team in the world.
Yeah, accelerators.
On paper.
Accelerators, I would say. So Jankos, Yamato Cannon got to judge your play. So now we're going to take a look at Yamato Cannon's play from his team from this morning, actually a couple of hours ago. Vitality and Roccat going at it in a very close fight earlier today. I don't know how much of this you've seen, Jankos, but...
Well, I didn't have opportunity to see the first game, but I knew Nukeduck could play Kog'Maw. And I also knew that, you know, if they do it, they will outscale no matter what. So as you can see, Nukeduck is just kind of 1v9ing the fight. He's playing really aggressive. I think Nukeduck is a really good player if he can get comfortable. I think if Nukeduck is not comfortable, he will kind of not go for so many plays. But if he can, you know, have this win condition, like going for late game, being fed. I remember him from Roca 2015 as well, where he would always call to leave up every Drake, and that's how we would lose every game. I know, I'm just... Yeah. I mean, maybe it was like this, maybe not. We were just all bad, to be honest, before Yamato came and saved us. So I think, basically Nukeduck had late game scaling champ and he just played perfectly. And this is, one of the games where, I mean, leaving Tamken, Shen, and Corki in the same comp and then playing early game against it and still losing the early game is probably not something you want to do.
Yeah. It's rough. And we were talking a lot before your series when we were catching up with Yamato Cannon, a little bit about how the improvements of Vitality actually have come to play. And it was more about that unity as a team, the Tahm Kench, the Shen that you were talking about. Like, those Tahm Kench plays are what we were seeing H2K with Che do on the Tahm Kench a whole bunch. That's why it's now banned against you guys all the time. So I'm glad to see that Vitality is starting to work out on more than just like, oh, does Nukeduck carry or not? So
yeah, it's starting to click for Yamato's team.
Yeah, it's starting to click, but as we remember, H2K against Vitality, Che totally outclassed Vander. He just totally smacked him. I mean, I didn't even see enemy support in that game. I just knew it's like my friend somewhere there, you know?
Your
but like,
friend, it doesn't sound like it. You're going in.
Holy moly, that's...
Friendly banter. I know how it is. You know, it's allowed. It's allowed. But yeah, it's been going well. It's been clicking well for Yamato. And
on the other side, Roccat though, a little bit disappointing.
Yeah,
a little underwhelming. They picked early game, had like a small lead in a lot of lanes, and then just didn't seem to know how to close.
This is team that beat Fnatic, by the way.
Right, and that I think is something we were talking about, is the fact that Fnatic completely underestimated Roccat.
Why is that so funny?
No, it's funny because they lost against the G2 with the 3 subs coming from a vacation as well. Like, Roccat is a big question mark, but I think it's very obvious when you look at Roccat, they have specific comfort. Faxion, Nar, you have the Swain Vladimir thing going on in mid lane. And when today there was a lot of picks I expect a different team would pick, like Caitlyn and Kennen, but I was thinking like Roccat have never showed this.
Yeah.
Then when they played this today, it really showed that they really don't know how to execute these picks. I think Yaron needs to play like a CC AD carry. That's where he's useful, but Kates is all about just pushing forward and using your momentum.
The mind of grabs. He's just trying to play some different things to get used to,
and
throw
Kennen
the competition
as
off. I can see that. Well, let's take a look at the standings after our second day here in week number 5. Obviously, H2K picking up some points there in Group B. Yay, Jankos. Woo!
Oh, we are lucky. I'm really wondering who is Unicorns facing tomorrow. Is it G2?
No, it's not G2.
It is.
Can someone?
Is it NIP?
I think it's NIP.
I think
it
it's
must be the Ninjas
An
and
IP? Oh, that's not good for us.
Well, that is not good for you guys. Well, at least you're in the top half.
You face
right?
them later now. Why is it?
I mean, it's not bad. It's just that every time we face them, we always lose. And then every time we face Splice, it's free win. And it's kind of awkward, you know, because like Splice is doing well in our group right now. I believe they even won versus Unicorns.
Yeah.
And then, you know, when we played Splice, we kind of stomped them. And then last time in, you know, Spring Split, our last match didn't really matter. So we were just playing some team on top and stuff. Yeah, I remember the draft, bro.
I want to remind you of something. You remember that best of 5 H2K versus Splice? I just want to make sure that when you use the word as every time,
Nar open 5 games. Wonder Man.
Well, true that, but I also want to keep in mind that, you know, last year when you guys were... No, actually, you went to World Finals as the 3rd seed. You bet Unicorns of Love, so yeah. But you kind of drop out quickly, but
but
all
of
the
course, look at our group.
well.
If we were in your group, we would also go through. I promise you that.
You promise me that? Okay. I keep your role.
You might,
maybe this year.
I was going to say maybe this year, but I don't see Vitality necessarily making it to Worlds, and I don't really think that's an insult. Like, it's the first split with your, or like the first time with the
Let's be honest, right? It's a long-term process. Vitality from previous split obviously had a lot to work on. I'm happy with the progression that we're making. You know, I'm not saying, oh, let's go Worlds, let's beat SKT, let's do this.
Oh,
no.
was that Maxler?
Like Misfits, yeah.
But no, I'm happy with where we are.
Yeah, and it's going better. So in general, Jankos, which team has surprised you so far this split in a positive way?
In a positive way?
Yes, I know it's difficult, but
in a positive way. That is a hard one. I thought Splice would do way worse without Yamato. I thought he's like more important. I thought I thought, you know, Splice would kind of collapse without like his coaching, since when he came to the team, he made the team strong, and then, you know, they were always with him, and then after he left, I thought they would collapse. But it seems like they are a really strong team right now, and they are in top 3 of our group. So I'm kind of surprised that, you know, even after the first week where they look kind of shaky, you know, second week they picked up and they are getting stronger and stronger.
You could see it differently. He just instilled a great base into them that they still retained and are now trying to take it to the next level with Jivas, their new coach.
Yeah. I think Jivas came off of winning the Brazilian split, so it's like this is not a random guy, right? So obviously they're going to do good. But I think the series yesterday was depicting some of the problems we had in the spring split, where against the better teams, it looks very lackluster. Good things are shown, and then Trashy gets caught, and the enemy team gets Baron.
Oh, is it like personal hate?
No.
I mean, I got caught today, and we lost Nash as well. But you know,
you
my
still
team,
won, right?
Yeah,
yeah, we still won. So it's like not a big deal.
Let me clarify. I don't want to just bash Trashy. It was just sometimes something slightly goes wrong because of this inactivity, and this was a common occurrence in spring split as well. But I agree that Splice. The summer split Splice is looking great in this summer split too.
I think the interesting thing is that they have brought a different style as well. It's not just the 1-3-1 that we've seen every single game now to Splice. It wasn't successful yesterday, unfortunately, but still in that game against the Unicorns, they actually team fought the Unicorns and looked good doing it. So it's interesting to see these teams adding a different dynamic, because Misfits kind of just tried to add a 1-3-1 setup and they clearly didn't look comfortable in the late game.
Yeah, for a top team in Group A in the Misfits, that actually surprised me that 2 games in a row, they throw away such a big lead.
And I think it's us. Come on. The one problem we have right now is that every time we face a better team, like for example Splice did, every time we face the top 3, which I would say is G2, Fnatic, and UL, probably Fnatic in the front right now, every time we lose, you know. And as we know, top 3 is going to World Finals, not top 4. So being 4th sucks, you know. It's useless. We are dogs, kind of. So I really hope we can step up our game and, you know, break with like Iron Fist into this top 3 and make it shaky for them. Maybe go to World Finals.
Through the gauntlet also.
Eat some Korean barbecue in Korea. It's really fun.
I feel like it's not just H2K on just on the Misfits point at the end. I feel like legitimately, though, Misfits didn't feel comfortable closing those games out. I think that's something that's going to take a couple of weeks. If they continue to play this style where they want Paravival to play the side lane, he has to be comfortable enough to go to the right lane, push his advantage in the right way, and then not get caught under tower and throw the game away.
Let's just not play that way, maybe.
Well, that's what I mean. Is if it's going to take that long, you're on the road to Worlds.
Yeah, exactly. So the other thing in the standings that we always speak about that I'd love to hear Jankos and Yamato Cannon's opinion on is G2. Slump, yay or nay? What are we seeing here? Is it a weaker G2 or is it still a slump for you guys?
I think it's hard to imagine them coming out of it in the same stride as before. I think a lot of teams have improved. And G2, I think this bubble has bursted, this bubble that, G2 is unbeatable. They always kept winning these games that they lost early game heavily, and then they just came back because there was this mental block for every team. But right now, you know, every team can feel, this team beat G2, we can do that too. So it's possible, man.
Yeah, it's kind of a mental effect on the other teams as well. Of like, well, hey, we can get those wins too. If that team can, surely they're not unbeatable. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree, but I still think G2 will probably bounce back. I don't know if they will be as strong. I feel like after MSI and World Finals, maybe they feel like they were so good already, and it's hard to get motivation when, you know, you were the best and you're always the best, the kings of Europe, right? Self-proclaimed. And then
who else were the
actually true. Okay, they were the best team for like straight up 2 years. Okay, I agree. My bad.
Like
First Blood King, so.
But to be honest, right now they are not playing that well. I think after Rift Rivals, though, playing against us, I think they'll already be way stronger than right now. And maybe already after Rift Rivals, we can see some Fnatic against, you know, the best NA team or against G2 if it's possible. I'm not sure if it's possible. Yeah.
It's also important to keep in mind this was a team that played the finals at MSI, right? The break they had was very, very small. So I think it's understandable if they take like a resting period throughout the split, if they play a bit less. I think this is completely acceptable.
It definitely is acceptable, but we're week 5.
Right. That's the problem for me is we're now week 5 heading into Rift Rivals. They don't get a break on that week either, like some of the other teams.
On them.
The stat that is the most damning for G2 is G2's full roster has the same win-loss record as their substitute roster from week 1. 1 series. That is damning for the team that has won back-to-back splits for the last 3 splits. And they can't get it together for week 6. They need to fix this.
Yeah, I can't help but giggle just because we all have this premonition of they're going to bounce back anyway, you know? And I find it hard to kind of shake that idea because of the legacy they've built up and also is what we owe them, to be honest, because of what they've built up.
But let's be honest, can we imagine a world where G2 doesn't go to playoffs?
No.
It's impossible, right?
No.
So they have a lot of time.
Yeah.
They have a bunch of time. What is it, 8 weeks until playoffs start?
But I can imagine a world where G2 don't get a semifinals bye. Yeah. And that would be a big thing.
I don't think that really matters. I think, you know, playoffs game matter, right? Sure. But from being 6th or like 3rd in your group, you can still be the best. So I don't think they really care, you know, as long as they can bounce back until playoffs and they can show strong performance in playoffs and, you know, they can still be the best. If not, you know, someone would be in the way, for example.
Do they have to be the best, though? Like, would it, in one world, maybe not be better for them just to qualify for Worlds on points, not having to play that final kind of, I don't know. Like a different scenario. You know? A different scenario than...
I think getting first place is always nice.
Yeah, of course, it's always nice. But,
I can imagine.
In Paris, you know, the arena, I mean, it looks really cool, right?
What?
Yeah.
The Paris arena.
Parties? Oh.
Parties, yeah. Parties, yeah. Come on.
Paris, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it does. It looks amazing to fill that up. And it is 6 weeks that they have now. And, you know, you might just imagine a scenario in which they don't do well at Rift Rivals, completely bomb out, then that mental is going down again, and then they need to come back and face H2K, and then, you know, then it could go.
The people that are profiting from G2 not showing up the most are Fnatic right now.
Yeah.
As an organization and as a League of Legends team. Like, they are right in Cloud9 at this point. I guess that
you know what I'm hoping?
Next week.
What?
I'm hoping that G2 doesn't bounce them back in time for us to play them. That's what I'm hoping for. You know?
That's what everyone's saying.
That's why I'm...
Let me get that cheeky G2 win in. Come on.
Why are we playing them? What is it, week 7? Damn.
Well, we'll see. There's another team that is hoping that Mysterious Monkeys, because they face off versus G2 tomorrow, followed up by the Unicorns of Love versus the Ninjas in Pajamas. Looks like a pretty straightforward day, doesn't it?
I do believe so. I do think, though, that right now, Mysterious Monkeys with Kikis and Amazing looks so much stronger. I mean, their bot lane and their mid lane are still a little bit shaky, right? Their bot lane is ending some games. But with Amazing and Kikis, I was really surprised in like how much better they looked in the matter of like 1 week or like 3 days, right? So I'm really curious how they will look like, you know, in a couple of weeks.
And
maybe they will steal Vitality spot from the 4th one if you guys don't step up better.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting. And then NIP, there is no hope. I think they will lose against you all.
Yeah, they might. This is very
for
tough
this series, obviously.
Yeah, it's a very tough matchup for them indeed. Well, we will see. Super interesting there. Thank you guys both for joining me here on the desk today. Congratulations. 4-0 day for these guys. Time for us to log off for the night. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back here tomorrow for more action in the EULCS. Have a fantastic night.
Against these two teams, Rocket in the hunt for them playoffs, and Vitality, they just want to get themselves up on the board. Let's see how it all shakes out as the big guns have come to play here in the EULCS. Jarnan takes 1, dodges a 2nd, dodges a 3rd, the 4th is going to clip him, and Joko's right there to try and cut him off. He wants to get it all done, but Kabashard ends it with the kill. 35 minutes under that average for Vitality, and they are going to take 1 kill, 1 win up in this series. Looking alive, boys. All right, Stalker. Not wanting to win. Oh, the taunt flash right in onto Pride Stalker, and they just delete him. Kabashard comes around the side, forcing the retreat from Rocket, and there is nothing these guys can do with Steelback finding the finishing blow. 34 minutes, they're going to be able to close this one out. A last-minute defense mounted by Rocket, but it will be too little. It will be too late. They just fire it down, and these bees are buzzing. V for victory!
H2K taking on Misfits Gaming. Maxwell trying to taste Febiven's fear, and there's not enough follow-up. The dash, the chain, the pop! Power Power of Evil with a double.
Oh, wait.
Slow jump.
Wait.
What on earth was that?
Go bow and after, go bow and after.
Right now, Pavil, he wants a kill to kill Feberven.
Oh, Feberven, and at 50 minutes, managed to withhold. Look at the smiles on H2K's faces. It's got Ignite available, but there's a cocoon onto Jankos. First blood picked up by Power of Evil. He flashes forward. Exhaust goes down. The Light Slinger passive gets a double kill.
Probably wrong there. Maybe getting more.
So cheeky. Why?
You could feel they are shaking the chair, you know? We are like, look guys, they're panicking, and you could feel them like...
Everybody's dying! Ignore gets tagged! H2K are acing Misfits!
Back after. Go now. Oh, 4 people dead, 4 people dead. Yes, go now.
The turrets are falling, and H2K bounce back from the largest goal deficit at 20 minutes, all split long.